Hello, you. Welcome to Support the Scene, which is the show you're watching. This guy is Joey.
Hello.
From Apprentice.
Yep.
Joey, tell me about Apprentice.
Well, I started writing for the project about 7.5 years ago, and I just kind of wanted to blend a few different styles that I like that I hadn't really heard blended together a certain way before, and it took a while to get going. I had to, about 4 years ago, I moved to Vancouver, put the lineup together, started playing live, and then the album, the debut full length, finally came out a month and a half ago.
So when you say it's a blend of styles, what styles are we talking about?
So, yeah, if you know metal, you know that there's an obnoxious amount of subgenres, and and it just kind of came out with, I like pretty much every subgenre, so that's just how the music came out. I wasn't trying to do anything specific. It's just so, there's epic parts, melodic parts, progressive parts, heavy parts, brutal parts, fast parts, slow parts.
Yeah. So this really is developing from the ground up, just a project that's kind of all-encompassing.
Yeah, you could say that.
Cool. And so you mentioned that you moved here a while ago. Was that move part of the...
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot going on. It was a life decision as well. But a large part of it was so that I could get the band going and try and actually pursue a career in music. Maybe playing music isn't really a career, but I got other things going on. Hopefully.
Well, so how's the project going?
It's going pretty well. We're getting to the point where we're headlining shows. Every show we've played lately has been pretty good. Now that the album's out, we're able to go and play out of town, and people know the songs. There's people singing along, which is great to see.
Yeah,
it's it's a huge step up once you have an album out. That's like a hurdle you got to get over, and then you're. Yeah. So
when you have this concept that you've obviously had for a long time, this project that you want to make, you want to sustain or whatever, what's the difference between creating it and sustaining it, right? Okay, here you are, you're making your music, but you want to do this forever, presumably. How do you keep evolving that?
I think that's an impossible question to answer. I think it's it's like anything creative. It's just you kind of take it one step at a time, and the less you force it, the more genuine and creative it is. I think so. You
just tap into that.
Yeah.
Same.
So we'll see what happens from here. I don't know. The current lineup has only been around about 1.5 years, and I'm hoping that this lineup sticks around for a while, and then the songwriting is going to get more collaborative. The sound's going to change. I don't know what direction we're going to go in. That's part of the fun.
It's interesting you use the word collaborative, right? Because I must say, not knowing much about Apprentice, the description, it sounds very much like your project, your thing that you're doing. But you say collaborative. Right?
It is to a point, yeah. I wrote the vast majority of the music on the album and most of the lyrics as well. And I think a large part of that was just because there never really was a solid lineup when I was writing most of the material. I wrote a lot of it back when I lived in Calgary, and so I was just kind of writing away. And now that we have a solid lineup, we're working together more. So the new material is more of that, awesome. more a band than a solo project.
So what is the current focus for you in terms of where the project's at?
Right now, I'm just trying to get the word out about the album. We're planning doing a tour next year. We'll see who with and where we go. Hopefully get on some festivals, and I'm just I'm learning the ropes of doing the whole PR thing and advertising online and stuff. All these new avenues are opened up for me now that there's an album, there's Spotify, there's Bandcamp, there's all these different methods of advertising your music that I'm just learning about.
So you want to get the word out about this album. Boom. Tell me about the album.
All right. So the debut album, it's called The Strength of Mortality. It was written over a period of 5 or 6 years. It features all the current members in the band. There's 6 songs. It's 40 minutes long. So they're long songs, which is kind of a thing we do. And yeah, I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with it. And we're getting some good responses about it.
So you're talking about learning about PR and stuff. This is a difficult thing, I think, for any musician. It's talking about what it is you're doing without being able to just hit a play button.
Yeah. So luckily my skills as a promoter are coming in handy. I know how to kind of work like, you know, work with social media and stuff. So I've just been kind of using those skills, and I've been learning a lot. The producer on the album, Matt Roach at Rain City Recorders, he also is part of the Collective Agency, which is a PR company that we're gonna hopefully be working with soon. And you know, I've been learning a lot from him as well. And yeah, it's there's no one right way to do it. It's a very personalized thing. It's almost like learning an instrument. It's everyone has their own kind of style of doing it, and yeah.
Well, and it's something I've noticed. Like I think a lot of musicians, and certainly like public-facing musicians, complain about having to do stuff like that. But pretty much everyone who's really successful has mastered that to some extent.
Yeah, or they have someone do it for them that's really good at it, that they pay. You know, like. I think a cool thing about the current state of the music industry is that every aspect of being in a band, be it the PR, the management, the tour booking, the overall image, the production of the album, everything, you can kind of like, I think back in the old days, like back in the 80s and stuff, it was like a one-stop shop. You'd go to a label and they would do all that for you. But here now you can work with certain companies on any one individual aspect of that, or you can do it yourself if you know how to do it. And a big part of my approach is I always just say let the experts do their job, let the professionals do their job. So if I'm not an expert at something, I would rather hire someone to do it because they're probably going to do a better job than me, depending on things like budget and things like that too. But I like the flexibility of the current state of the industry.
Yeah. So, because I want to talk to you a little bit about Journeyman as well.
Yeah.
But before we do that, for Apprentice, where can people find you online? Like, do you have a website? Do you have social media?
Yeah, we don't have a website yet. That might be something I'll look at doing in the next year. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We don't really do much on there, but it's there. Spotify, Bandcamp. The distributor we use put it on pretty much every platform you can think of. There's like, you know, a bunch of ones I haven't even heard of. It's on YouTube. It's we're gonna start posting more stuff on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all linked together. You can find links to all the other stuff once you find one. Just Facebook.com/Apprentice Metal is the starting point, and then it's all there.
Apprentice Metal. Okay, cool. So tell me about, I've forgotten the second word. Journeyman
Productions. Yeah. So that's the promotion company I started like 2.5 years ago. Basically, me and a couple other big players in the local scene, Sam Landa of Dead Asylum and Darren Wall of 88 Mile Trip. The three of us put together the Vancouver Metal compilation, and that went over really well. And we did like a CD release show for it, where we had some of the bands that were on the compilation play at the Rickshaw, and it was a huge success. And that was kind of my first taste of putting together a show, and it was something that I was interested in doing, and it was something that I kind of thought needed to be done. Like there was promoters doing. There's promoters now too, and but I don't know. I just kind of saw a niche, an opening. So when I saw that Stryker was playing in Victoria, I just saw kind of my chance to start doing it. So I made the email and I sent them an email saying, "Hey, has anyone talked to you about doing Vancouver?" And then put that show together, and that was my first show like under Journeyman Productions, and then it just kind of took off from there. And now 2.5 years later, I'm doing. You know, I did Neck of the Woods CD release, Gross Misconduct CD release, and doing some big shows, and it's super fun and it's super rewarding. And I don't make a ton of money doing it, but it's awesome.
Well, it seems like a good opportunity for you to apply everything you've learned to help other bands, friends of yours, other bands that work with you, but also, if we're being honest, it's a chance for you to learn more and more and practice stuff that you can then apply to Apprentice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all. A lot of the skills are transferable. It's like, you know, like as one thing grows, the other thing grows too, and it's all one big thing. I'm learning as I go, and I'm getting better at everything as I go.
Well, it's another thing I have to say that a lot of very, very successful musicians seem to have. They branch out into these kind of tertiary industries, right? Like in Vancouver, and again, I don't know much about the scene, right? But everyone knows about 604 Records, right? As an example of like something that grew out of, you know, dude's music career, right? And this is like not quite the same thing, but it's that.
It's the same concept. Like everything you learn you can apply in every area of your life in one way or another, and it's. you know.
Well, and that's part of, like you said, like trying to make a career out of it, trying to get stuff going, right? It helps if you can be working on as many different facets of the industry as possible, right? And trying to work it out loud. And everyone else is trying to do that too, and they need help promoting, they need help with their stuff, they can come to you. And yeah, it's cyclical, as they say.
Yeah.
That's cool. So if people want to learn about Journeyman, if they want to like contact you and work with you in that regard, where can they go?
Yeah, so we mainly work by email if you want to work with us. Journeyman Productions, Vancouver, no spaces, at gmail.com. We're mostly active on the Facebook page. Again, we got Instagram, Twitter, and all that. I'm going to get a website set up for Journeyman soon because that's kind of the next big step that I need to take. I personally am taking a break from booking any more shows over the winter because I've been doing it for 2.5 years and it's been a lot of work and it's been overwhelming at times. But my girlfriend Nikki has been putting on some shows as well, and she's been dabbling in hip hop as well, so we're not just doing metal. And then Colton from Thousand Arrows has been doing the brunt of the shows lately. He's doing a few shows a month over the winter until, you know, when spring comes around. I got the Hyperspace Metal Festival. And then around then I'll start just booking again, and then we'll all kind of be even, I think, and it won't be as overwhelming for any one of us.
And to some extent, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, I'm done.
To some extent, like right now, would you say your focus is on Apprentice?
Right now, yeah. We played a lot of shows in October out of town. We did Vernon, we did Calgary, we did Victoria, New West, Surrey. We're playing Vancouver. We had our CD release show in Vancouver back in September. We're playing one more show at the end of November at Pub 340 in Vancouver, and then we're going to take a bit of a writing break over the winter, just to kind of, you know, avoid overplaying, first of all, because that's one thing that all bands are guilty of. All of you are guilty of that. So yeah, that's you know, we are as well, of course.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Yes and no. Like, you know, I'd rather have fewer better shows than more lame-ass shows.
This is a good point.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to take it easy over the winter, come back next year, trying to get on some festivals in BC and Alberta. Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to find a good band to set up a tour with. That'll hopefully help us out and help them out as well.
So I'm glad you brought this up again, because I wanted to ask you, you're talking about setting up a tour, right? Have you done much touring before? Like you mentioned shows in Calgary and stuff.
Not extensively. Like the longest run we've done was like 3 dates in a row, where it was like Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. There's been a lot of reasons for that. Like the erratic lineup changes has been definitely a factor. Like we were going to do 5 dates once, and then we had to cancel a couple dates just to make it work. And yeah, so I want to do like a full week next year. And the issue with doing that is you wind up playing on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which generally suck.
Sure.
Unless it's like a real lineup that actually like draws, which, you know, at our level, we can't go to Edmonton and expect to have a crowd on a Tuesday night. Sure. So, you know, we're trying to be smart about it. Hopefully we can get something going, and then we can do like a full week-long tour, and then, you know, slowly next time maybe we'll do 2 weeks or a week and a half, and we'll go, you know, maybe we'll do the West Coast, maybe we'll do Eastern Canada, maybe we'll hop down to Mexico, I don't know, but like it's gradually increasing the amount of stuff we do. Like, but yeah, right now we've only done like 2 or 3 date runs.
Yeah, I've noticed that with my friends that are in bands, they're focusing more and more. Like I think as online music sales continue to not necessarily make money, touring, playing live shows is bigger and bigger and bigger, doing, you know, the festival and other places. But the logistics of managing all of that just seems like a nightmare. And I've heard that it's very, it's kind of insular, like it's a business that's designed for other businesses, like for booking companies.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing about the industry, is a lot of people that are working in music and making money, they're making money off of musicians, not off of people buying music. It's just kind of, you know, like it's at the point right now where being a musician is really more of a hobby, unless you're lucky and good and work really hard for a long time. It's still doable, but I think a big factor is there's so many bands right now. There's so many good bands right now. It's just really, really hard to make any money doing it. So like, you know, if you cover your costs, you're doing well. Like, you know, when we came back from Calgary, we made enough money off of our guarantees and our merch sales to cover gas and the van rental.
Yeah.
You know, we went to Victoria and we had a really, really good show there, and we came back with a couple $100. But in the grand scheme of things, that hardly even puts a dent in the overall cost of like making an album and all that, and buying our gear.
Yeah, it does seem harrowing, right? Like this notion of focusing on writing, producing, releasing music, which may not net that much, or on touring, which again, like, might net you a little bit.
Yeah, and it just kind of is what it is. Like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta have realistic expectations going in. You know, we're not trying to make money with the band. Yeah, you know, like I said, you work hard. Eventually, maybe we'll get there. But right now, we're not expecting to like, you know, profit off of making an album. It's just kind of the reality of it.
Yeah, but you know, as you get more and more experience doing that, especially with the touring, right? Like successfully setting this up for yourself, even at a small scale, becomes something new that Journeyman can do, right?
Well, and I've done that a few times. I worked. The biggest thing was Bloodshot Dawn from the UK. There was a team of 3 of us. There was me. There was Brett from APOC. And Liam from Becomes Astral and Nomadic Arts. They're both located out east. The 3 of us worked together to bring Bloodshot Dawn to Canada and booked a cross-Canada tour, and it was extremely successful for them. They said it was one of the most successful tours they've ever had. Yeah. And I think big part of that was because they've never been here, and they already got 3 albums, they had tons of merch, and people bought a lot of stuff. So yeah, like I've done some tour booking. Journeyman does some tour booking here and there. I try not to take on too much at once because it's something that's really easy to half-ass. Right. And it's like if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it right. So I'm not gonna take on every band that wants to book a tour, but I will. I'm talking to a couple of European bands about doing something next year. But again, logistically, it's tricky. Like you gotta do it right, or it's just not gonna make money at all. Like I'm you know, I don't want to do it if it's gonna cost the band a ton of money. Yeah. Kind of thing.
Well, Joey, that's it for us. That's literally, we have nothing else to say other than you guys, you got to check out Apprentice Metal.
Yeah, facebook.com/Apprentice Metal. Check that out. Facebook.com/Journeyman Productions. Facebook.com/Support the Scene. No spaces.
Yes.
Go to shows. That's the biggest thing. Just go to shows. There's so many good bands in Vancouver right now.
But before you go to the show, here's what you got to do. You got to like this video. You got to subscribe to this channel. You got to hit the notification bell. You got to do all that stuff. Got to go to Spotify. Put on the album. Put it on a loop. Just loop it. Even if you mute your computer, whatever. Just loop. Then go out. Go to a show. Maybe your show. Some other show.
And then we'll get our 3 cents every time you listen to the album on Spotify.
Yes. Perfect. And then tell all your friends and guilt trip them into doing it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, it's James from Support the Scene. If you're interested in being interviewed or want to be featured on our channel, please comment down below or find us on Facebook and message us, and we'll get back to you as fast as we can. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Rock on.